shadows creep. Zombified rabbits that never sleep. They stitched up their tails, they bolted their feet. Bugger off, bunny says nope, retreat. The colonel's my safe place, my carrot-filled den. Just need to outrun these freaky hairmen. Hop, 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 don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive. Bugger off, bunnies got to survive. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, hop, hop. Don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, hop, hop. Stay alive. Bugger off, bunnies got to survive. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, hop, hop. Bugger off, bunnies got to survive.
A land of gold sunsets and skies so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave and weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall,
South Africa, good evening, everyone else around the world here in the United States. From the Mountain Time Zone, I apologize if the sound is a little bit hollow. Hopefully, we don't have the problem we had last night. It wasn't simply the data connection last night. It seems that Microsoft's OneDrive, opened without my permission, in the background was downloading every image and video it could find saved to my hard drive, of which there are gigs and gigs and gigs. And so it was sucking up all the bandwidth last night. I didn't realize that until after it was over. So kind of torqued me off. Not a big fan of Microsoft. Let's see how this sounds.
4 hours.
Not a big fan of Microsoft. Okay, it's not too bad. Give all things being equal, that's not too bad. Okay, well, welcome back to the program tonight, folks. Breaking news: the government shutdown is less than 1 hour away. The Democrats continue to play hardball, attempting to bankrupt this country into oblivion. And of course, the Republicans have simply tried to pass a continuing resolution, which I don't agree with, but it's better than nothing, at the same spending level, which is how continuing resolution works. But the Democrats will only agree to that if $1.4 trillion of deficit spending is tacked on for their little pet projects to buy voters. Now, people like Dogzilla will have you believe this is about Medicaid, Medicare. That's utter bullshit. Utter bullshit. That is in. That's a matter of law. And the lies about people losing Medicaid, Medicare are just simply that, lies. Total lies and fiction. What they don't bother to mention is that some seniors will now no longer have to pay taxes on their retirement Social Security benefits. I mean, how ludicrous is it that the money that you put in, you invested, you are supposed to get back, you have to pay taxes on. But ever since 1986, Reagan and the demon rats screwed Americans with Social Security reform, doubling the rate of taxation and then imposing limits on people. It's utter bullshit. So anyway, folks, at this hour, we're less than 1 hour away. And then we got Senator Kennedy talking right now to reporters that earlier.
The Republicans did our job. The Senate Republicans are trying to. We passed the clean resolution, a simple, clean resolution.
Yeah, Republicans passed a simple, clean resolution, which will allow the government to continue to operate. But the Democrats are playing hardball. They are stepping on their crank once again, and not very smart here. You know, the last time when the Republicans rightly played hardball because Democrats were trying to put more spending into a continuing resolution, and they eventually capitulated, the Republicans came off looking bad because they were the ones who held up government services. I will not be paid tomorrow, folks. My retirement check will go missing, and my medical care will, I don't know what will happen with that, because should Democrats shut down the government if demands are not met, 65% of respondents in the New York Times Siena poll say no. So the Democrats are really digging themselves a hole, and that's fine. I hope they dig a deep, deep hole. But in anticipation of this freeze or lack of a bill, I went ahead and paid my mortgage 10 days ago for this coming month. So I'm already paid. I paid all my utility bills for this month. The only thing I have left outstanding are credit card bills, of which are substantial, because remember, I was in England, so I got some big credit card bills. But I have a cash reserve that will help me take care of that. And if I don't get paid next month, I'll be able to make my mortgage and my bill payments next month. But then, you know, that's just because I prepare for things. Anyway, so what's the practical impact of this for South Africans? Well, South Africans will now see that there's no money for anything. So I had some frantic email messages sent to me last night, which I saw this morning in Mountain Standard Time, already late in the early afternoon for South Africans, in which a couple people said they were supposed to fly on Tuesday. Today. Well, it's almost over today. And they were told their flight was canceled. No explanation, no information given, and no one to contact. Well, my analysis is that most likely, folks, has to do with the fact that the federal government cannot operate non-essential services after 30 September, because there's no law authorizing them to spend money. So that's most likely what's going on here. So I had a lot of besserwissers and, know-it-alls who commented on my video earlier when I explained that this morning after getting those emails, analyzing the situation, telling me they know the better solution. Well, if you have a better analysis than I do, bully for you. Fantastic. Why don't you share it with the world? So I'm here to tell you that it's most likely the reason. Now, here's the problem. For those who are disrupted by this, now, there are people who are supposed to fly next week. I don't know that you're going to be disrupted, because that payment could be made the day before. So as long as they sort this out within the next couple of days, your flight may still be on. So you might be the case. But those who are supposed to fly today, probably tomorrow and the next day, aren't going anywhere for now, because there's no money. And of course, that'll create a backlog and a jam on the flights out of South Africa. So it might have a ripple effect with all the people leaving. So if the government actually were to approve a budget tonight, The people who are bumped today, it might take 7 to 10 days to get them back on a plane or just to get the money flowing back to them, because that's how long it takes for the government systems to get back. And trust me, all these Besavises, all these smart asses in South Africa don't know jack squat about the U.S. government. They can't stack up 36 years of experience working with government, knowing how its budget works and how it doesn't work, try to argue with me. But whatever, fine. People can go watch their content. They're obviously not watching my content, so whatever. I'm just here to tell you what I know and what my analysis is. And I'm here to tell you that without money, the government can't operate. And the only essential services are things like the Federal Aviation Administration, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Border Patrol, the military, and a few other law enforcement functions. That's pretty much it. There isn't much more beyond that that's an essential function. The rest cannot function. But the military will have to work, but they just won't get paid. Yep. Military won't get paid either. So they'll continue to work but won't get paid. Air traffic controllers will continue to work and won't get paid. You cannot walk off the job. So that's how it works, folks, and that's the reality. And you can blame it on the Democrats. So Trump gave his presentation to the general officers today. Apparently it was broadcast. I had no idea it was going to be broadcast. It was early this morning and I had to take off, so I couldn't watch it. So that's what's going on with the U.S. government tonight, folks. It's having a direct impact, in my assessment, on South Africa refugees. So there you have it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what all the cockprodders want to say about it. Let me say hello to everybody, and then I will get back to my news. I have some news from South Africa. Julius Malema was supposed to be sentenced today. He wasn't. It was postponed. Gate McKenzie threatened to quit the Government of National Unity and also to pull out of all coalitions with the ANC if his minion, Kenny Kunene, was not reinstated. Well, no update on that. The evening has come and gone in South Africa. We don't know the status of that. So has Gate McKenzie been talking out his backside? Sounds like he has. Francis Ruiz, welcome to you. Dogzilla, hello from Seattle. Dylan Verna, welcome. Philip Holtz, Michelle Heath, Kipper 14, Angelique, Richard Kuhn, Henny Pretorius, Elmarie Mayer, PT Brits, Bernadette Conaway, Amanda Lowe, Jules S.A., Lorette, Truth Seeker, Nix, Legal Alien, Cher, Linda Clarkson, welcome to you. Gail, Beyond the Mainstream, hello, hello, hello. Arnold Neathley, hello to you. Zelda Stander, hello, hello. Dan Bailey in from Wyoming. Dan, I'm no longer in Wyoming. I'm now in Idaho, in Rexburg, where there's a BYU campus, a branch campus. I didn't know that. And agriculture. That's pretty much it. PX say things. War doesn't care for man or woman.
David, look, it's time for a new position or a new profession.
Ooh.
It said spoke to top military leaders, generals, and admirals at Marine Corps Base Quantico. Heck said blasted diversity initiatives that he says have led to decay in the military.
They have led to decay.
And criticized, quote, fat generals.
Fat generals.
Quickly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations or really any formation.
Yep.
And see fat troops.
Yep. Fat
Likewise,
troops.
it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the
100%. 100%.
leading commands around the country and the world. Some suggest that.
He's spot on. He's spot on. The bloat in the military since I left in 2019 is astounding. When I go to U.S. military installations, I see fully 60% of the soldiers obese, overweight, can't fit in their uniforms, fat boys and girls. It's disgusting. More like a press conference than a briefing the generals, one defense official said. Well, that's what you get for opening your mouth. Let's see how long he has a job. All right. So I don't know why you want to talk about scenery in Idaho. Dogzilla, I spent my day in Wyoming. No agreement on the government, Lorette. Looks like the shutdown is going to happen, yes. Kipper says MAGA doesn't give in to Democrats. Well, let's hope so. They've done it before. Shutdown is about cuts to health care, benefits Americans. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Yeah, the cut to health care benefits will be a result of the Democrats shutting down the government. You're right. That's what it's about. Democrats are shutting down the government so that seniors go without health care. Spot on, Dogzilla. Did anyone see the NC news about AGOA being renewed for a year? There's no truth to that. I'll do a search on that real quick. I mean, how can it be renewed for a year? There's no there's no legislation. It's a piece of law. After Growth Opportunity Act, okay. All right, Deutsche Welle has got it right. AGOA has expired. What's next for Africa? Yep. 13 hours ago, Southern says it's optimistic U.S. trade initiative go will be renewed. How stupid do they look? How stupid do they look? The African growth opportunity has expired. But South Africa says they're hopeful it will continue. On the period of renewal, the consensus suggests that go may be renewed for a short term between 1 to 3 years to allow Congress to introduce changes. It can't be. It has to be. It has to be a law. These people are dumb as a box of rocks. I swear to gosh. I mean, they're dumb as a box of rocks. It's a law. It's not. You can't just go, oh, we want to go up. It's a piece of legislation, just like the budget, which has not been approved. The government's going to shut down because Congress can't get a budget together. You think they're going to get the GO Act together? It's not even a priority. I have to do a video on this. These people are dumb as a box of rocks. ENCA said, no, I didn't see that, Truth Seeker. They're just repeating garbage, utter garbage. Sean Velgamon, good morning from South Africa. Werner Kurtz, hello to you. Denise Bellingen, welcome to you. J983, hello, hello. Phoenix, Gina Mulman, hello, Gina. I'm back in Idaho. Rudolph Skippers, Kipper says you're absolutely correct. Right on. Thank you. I'm not sure what I was correct about. JJ Kruger, Democrats wanted to keep funding PBS and Medicaid to legal aliens. Exactly, Philip Holtz, and the Republicans said no. Yep. CB, welcome too. And Francis says, very bad situation for you guys, U.S. Colonel. No, it's not. Record revenues coming into the government. If the government shuts down, it's not a bad thing. People should learn to stop suckling off the government teat and prepare for rainy days. I prepare for rainy days. Yep. They'll turn it back on pretty quickly. Democrats will take a lot of bad press and it'll come on pretty quickly. Question is, will the Republicans cave on something? They probably will. What's bad and what's embarrassing, Francis, is that we can't come up with a budget in 12 months. That's pathetic. Yeah, they're grasping at the go of straws. Yep. Once funding gets sorted, will the program be safe for the rest of the year? I can't answer that question, Rudolph, because it won't be a budget. It depends how long the continuing resolution is for. Typically, they're for a month or 90 days. So we'll have to wait and see what they come up with. I can't answer that question for you. Fat troops. Oh, Denise, I've seen South Africa. I know. That's where we get our inspiration from, for our fat troops. Isn't Trump also fat? I'm sorry, dogs. When did a 79-year-old last serve in the U.S. military? See what leftists do? Whataboutism. What does fat Trump have to do with a fat military? Not a damn thing. Should Trump say that people only under the age of 30 should be in the military? And since he's 79, he can't be the commander-in-chief? Dude, you see, this is nonsensical. Nonsensical. Who gives a shit whether he's fat? Biden was bald and stupid. What about it? 30 rolls of paper towels, 14 bucks. Wow, that's not a good deal, Holden. Hey, Lynette from PE, what's going on? Gina will send me an email. Thank you, Gina. Does that cola? Yeah, because we're talking about Thursday morning. Coca-Cola have a hey show? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There's the little. That's the ingredients. You have to stick the label on there because the bottles don't have it in order to sell it here. That's made in Mexico. This was a gift from Willem in Twin Falls. It's my last bottle of that. Yep. I had 4 bottles and I've kind of spaced them out. So today's my last bottle. Yep. That's a really good price for those things. Yep. So let's get on to the news here, folks. All right. So. Why is this thing still there? All right, cool. All right, I think Trump is going to doge all the ones he wanted to because of the shutdown. Saw they lost 80,000 jobs in the second quarter. I'm not surprised, Sean. I don't know where you saw that, but I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it's so few. I would have thought it'd been in 6 figures, really. Rhonda Absalon, sorry I missed you there. Welcome to you, Holden Caulfield. Lynette, I already got you. And then Rudolph Skippers. Okay, cool. Right. I do have some news items, as I said. Let me get to some of those here very quickly. So, first off, the South African ambassador to France has offed himself. Nati Mtetwa, who's been embroiled in the SAP's corruption, went off the 22nd floor of a hotel in Paris. South African ambassador to France, Nati Mtetwa, was found dead in Paris, according to the Department of National Relations Cooperation. French authorities investigating circumstances surrounding his death. French media noting he had been missing since Monday afternoon. He served as police minister as well as that of sports, arts, and culture before his 2023 ambassadorial appointment. But he's embroiled in the corruption. Accused. In a statement by the presidency, Ramaphosa sent his condolences to the wife to and extended family. The untimely passing ambassador Mtetwa was a moment of deep grief, which government citizens stand beside the family. ANC spokesperson Malengi Bengu said that Comrade Mtetwa was not merely a public official, he was a committed comrade of the liberation struggle and a dedicated servant of the people. A committed comrade of the liberation struggle. He was born in 1967, which makes him 3 years younger than me. The liberation struggle ended in 1992. So in 1992, he would have been about 23, 24. I suppose he could be a veteran of the struggle. Yep, according to Le Parisien, his cell phone had last had a signal at 3 p.m. Monday near the Bois de Boulogne, a large park in the 16th arrondissement. That's not where he was found dead. Yep. He sent a message to his wife saying he wanted to die by his own hand. Yep. In a statement, the prosecutor of the Republic said the day before 29 September, his wife had reported his disappearance to police services. She stated she last saw her husband shortly before 4:30 as he was supposed to attend a cocktail event, and they received a message from him shortly after 9:30 in which he apologized and expressed his intent to end his life. On 30 September around 11:10, the security guard at the Hyatt Hotel found his lifeless body in the interior courtyard of the hotel. We've been instructed not to talk to journalists. The hotel hasn't given us much information. So, folks, it's beginning to unravel for the ANC. It is beginning to unravel for the ANC. Rather than be brought in for questioning and answer questions, it appears he's gone. What can we surmise from this other than he took a short walk off a high ceiling 22nd floor? It's not sad, Kipper. If the man is, if he's guilty of crime, then you know he got the easy way out. Finding a deal is my favorite, especially. Yeah, I'm with you that. Yes, the Mtetwa story was a surprise, not something that happens really. They get away with it, everything, so don't understand why he would. Well, Summary, there's always the possibility that, a Jason Bourne-like character might have helped him off the roof, We don't know. Police investigation forthcoming. You never know. Maybe somebody helped him off the roof. Dogzilla, no one cares. Why do you keep sharing that story? Again, those people are going to lose their refugee status. You better hope the State Department doesn't find out about it. Good morning, Arthur Fundamental. How you doing? Right, so that story, let's continue on with what we got here. So, ANC and the PA had a meeting this evening, a critical meeting to decide Kenny Kunene's fate. PA leader Gabe McKenzie is insisting on having Kenny Kunene reinstated as Johannesburg's MMC for transport, threatening to quit the coalitions. The ANC is downplaying the ultimatum. When I said I'm leaving, it wasn't a loss of confidence in you. It's just that I can't expect other people to resign and I remain. There's no trouble in the GNU. The GNU is solid. It's going through its best phase. Really? It's not accomplishing anything except implementing the National Democratic Revolution. He said, I'm not here for positions. I'm here to serve. But why is that thing still on? I turned it off. I turned the air off. I might as well turn on, puts cold air in here. Excuse me. Freaking stupid system. Because I'm sweating my butt off in here. All it's doing is blowing hot air. All it's doing is blowing hot air. Might as well blow some cold air in here. Can you still hear me? I think that's the question I need now. Yes, Sumari, I have no idea. I'm not into conspiracy either, but a lot of questions will be raised immediately after this man's name was mentioned in a criminal probe, which everyone thought was going nowhere, but suddenly appears to be going somewhere because other cops are confirming the story that Mkwenazi has told. Thank you, Light Rain. Peter Talliard, how's it going? Paris. Who mentioned Paris? I didn't mention Paris. Anyway, so yeah, so it's the whole thing will raise a lot of questions, folks. A lot of questions. Well, South Africa's feelings are hurt because the U.S. is sending 4 legislators to the P20. United States of America will be represented by 4 officials at South Africa's summit for parliamentarians from G20 nations. According to National Assembly Speaker Toko Didiza, the delegation is not at the speaker's level. Officially called the P20, the summit kicks off Wednesday in Kleinmond. The U.S. administration is sending 4 representatives to the summit. We've been informed by the United States that there will be 4 representatives that will be coming to the meeting, but not at a speaker's level, but as members of parliament, and others will be coming from the embassy. I must say that even in all other countries, there are some countries that are sending speakers, others sending deputy speakers, others who are bicameral parliaments like ourselves. We have 2 deputy speakers from the United Kingdom, one coming from the House of Lords, one coming from the House of Commons. Speaker of the House, Commons is actually coming. Well, we don't have time to waste listening to bullshit from racist parties in South Africa. We've got to get a budget passed. We've got to get programs in place. We're trying to settle the Gaza situation and Ukraine. We don't have time for pontificating and for ANC getting up and stroking itself on the back and lying to the world about its racist country and its racist policies. So the U.S. is sending members of its legislature, as it should. Problem solved. Willem is saying, hello, please meet my sister, Catherine. No. Okay, I didn't know Catherine was your sister, and I don't see her in the chat. Oh, there she is. Okay. Hello, Catherine. Welcome to you. If you mentioned already, can you please give more insights to the refugee budget? People stuck in Pretoria not leaving. Well, I did in the video. Did you not watch the video this morning, Arthur? I did a video this morning. There's no news beyond what I said this morning. That was my analysis. Here, the shutdown is imminent now.
Looks at this point.
It's 34 minutes away and the government will shut down officially. Only emergency service will continue. Refugees, as important as it is to the refugees, is not an essential service. It's not something the U.S. government should or not has to be doing. So that will suspend the program while we wait for money. Yep. So it's not a question of the money. The money, it is a question of money because even though money's coming to the federal government, they can't spend it without authorization. The authorization is a law. The law has to go through the House, the Senate, the president has to sign it. And we don't have a law, so we can't spend money. Oh, my goodness. Shut it down. Love the bison. Somebody finally noticed the bison. That is Bert the bison. Yeah, somebody finally noticed the bison back there. I was wondering if anybody's going to notice Bert the bison. Yeah, Arthur. So, okay, if you didn't watch it, I'll tell you essentially my analysis this morning is that I got frantic emails, and I already mentioned it. Did you just come in? Well, this is the start of the program. It's the first thing I talked about at the beginning of the program. Is I received frantic email messages from at least 2 different people telling me they're supposed to fly Tuesday, which is now over, and they sent it Monday night. But I didn't get it till Tuesday morning because I'm 8 hours behind you. And they said, can you help us? Anything you can do? Well, there's nothing I can do, folks. I don't run the program. I don't sign the laws. All I can do is give you an analysis and say that my estimation is that the reason that your flight was canceled is the government's not authorized to spend money. Therefore, they can't send agents to provide your security. They can't process your forms. They can't pay for tickets. They can't do any of that stuff. So that's probably what happened. Although it's unfortunate because it happened on the 30th. You know, it's the last day of the year. I don't know why it had happened on the 30th, but I suspect that people, if they're scheduled for tomorrow, the next day aren't going to go anywhere. People scheduled for next week might be able to hold out hope. I doubt they've canceled those reservations because the government has a good deal. The government can cancel a reservation last minute. There's no fee, cost them nothing, get all their money back. That's just how the government works. And they get the cheapest fares available. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. But for the people who've been postponed now, when it restarts, even if it's tonight or tomorrow or the next day or the day after that, it's probably going to be 7 to 10 days before those people can even be put back in the system. So it's very frustrating for them. So yeah, take a deep breath, Jacob. Exactly. Willem says, I watched it. The shutdown makes sense with the demands of the Democrats. Yep, you're right. Okay, I saw the bison, thought it was part of the combination. No, there's no decor. The walls are bare, and the room is hollow. It's a big room, though. I'm in a little town called Rexburg. Rexburg. It's amazing when you come out of Yellowstone. I've never come out of Yellowstone with this direction. The last time I came out of Yellowstone, I went out to West Yellowstone, which is a crappy, dumpy, touristy town in Montana, and went north, following the river. This time, I went south. I'd never done that before and came through Idaho. So you're only in Montana for about 8 miles, about 12, 14 kilometers, and then you're in Idaho, and you're up at a high elevation, 6,000 feet, and you work your way down. I don't know what this is, probably 4,000 feet, but you come down quite a way so you can see it. What does the remedy get? The far-fetched demands the chunky and them a set aside. There is no remedy. They have to cave from pressure, but they're too stupid to do that. Faraday just gave 70 Rand. Email me. Okay. All right. Thank you, Werner. Yeah, in that video, I made an appeal, folks. I made an appeal to anyone that's in the Pretoria-Joburg area that might be able to provide accommodation and help out refugees that are in limbo. At least they might be in limbo for a week or so while they wait. If any, I don't know these people personally, but I can put you in touch with them. Werner, thank you for that. I'll check my email. I didn't see anything earlier from anybody. Yep. Yes, the Coke is from Mexico, Jack. It's the second time I've been asked that question. I'm going to ask, at what tourist stop did you get the bison? If you want Wyoming stuff, I may know a guy. I got that at Old Faithful, at the nonprofit Always Yellowstone. Forever Yellowstone. I bought it from them. And as far as stuffed animals go, it was a pretty good deal. It was a pretty good deal. All right. Have a good day there, CB. Yeah, I've tried sarsaparilla before. It doesn't do anything for me. Breathing, working, night shift, and I shut down away from home for another 5 weeks. Wow, Arthur. Okay. All right. So yeah. Well, the video is there. It's a short that I did. So you have to go to my shorts and check that out. But I did earlier today. Willem Hart just gave $10 for Coca-Cola. Thank you for that, Willem. Thank you for the $10. Very kind of you. The clouds are gathering. Indeed, they are, folks. So today I started out my day in Afton, Wyoming, in Star Valley, where I went to a realtor yesterday to look at property and find out some information. And then this morning I drove around the Star Valley Ranch, a place that I looked at last 31 years ago. And so a lot more houses on the property, but still a lot of empty lots up there. Beautiful locations. It's now become a town. It's incorporated. It was just a real estate development. Now it's an actual town. So I went there and it was raining, but it did make for some nice photographs. And I had mule deer walk right out in front of me in the middle of the residential neighborhood. I left there and drove up to Jackson. At Jackson, I stopped and went to the visitor center because it's free parking and I could use the restroom. Got some information. I drove from there to into Grand Teton. So a few years ago, the U.S. government legislated that veterans, not just retirees, but veterans, would have free lifetime access to U.S. national parks. We wouldn't have to pay. And that worked out pretty well for me in the past couple of days. So I went to Craters of the Moon National Park, which is where I got my permanent pass and a vehicle pass. And it would have cost me $20 for the vehicle and $10 per person. So I saved $30 there in Idaho. Then I went to Grand Teton. It was $35 for a vehicle and $20 per person. So I saved $55 there. And Yellowstone was the same thing. So I saved $110 for Yellowstone and Grand Teton plus $30. So I've saved $140 because of my veteran status. That's pretty cool. I've never been able to take advantage of that. I mean, some people get to do it their entire lives. I've never got to do that. So it's pretty cool. So that was nice. But I went to Grand Teton and I took some photographs and filmed a couple videos. They're probably pretty lame for Jim Green boots. So that, I came up with a tagline. We'll see if Jim Green likes it. Basically something like, my Rangers were up to the challenge of the Grand Tetons. What are you wearing? My Rangers, that's the line. My Rangers were up to the challenge of the Grand Tetons. What are you wearing? Anyway, and then I also went to Yellowstone. I went to Jenny Lake there. That's where I filmed that. And then I went to Yellowstone and I hit the lake, went down there, filmed my boots on top of a rock, looking out over the lake, also with me wearing them. And then I filmed some of the lake, filmed some of the geysers there, and as we say, geysers. Then I went to Old Faithful, and my timing was pretty good. I parked and only had to wait about 10 minutes before Old Faithful blew. Went for about 3.5 minutes, walked into the Old Faithful Inn, the place I stayed back in 1989, took some photographs from there, went to the gift shop, then went to the visitor center, which is where I picked up Bert the bison, and then always had a soft spot for bison. And from there, I went back, hopped in the car, and drove. On the way out of Yellowstone, it took a little while because it's 31 miles, but it takes an hour because the speed limits, but also because you have to stop for wildlife. So this is, hang on, I need a better picture than that one. Here we go. So this is what I was greeted with on, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Let me see. There you go. Let's try it like that. Can anybody see that? It's an elk. It's a male elk. 3 different times on the way out of Yellowstone, elk kept grazing across the road and slowing down, stopping traffic. You got to be careful. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah, the elk, and then I went through West Yellowstone and came down here. Tomorrow, one more final stop, and that'll be in Sun Valley, Idaho, which is a big ski resort. There's no skiing right now. In fact, a little disappointed there was no snow in the Grand Tetons that I could see. It was only up at the hidden crevices up there. So yeah, there's some really good photos here, Arthur. I got tons of them. I mean, I had to put the window down with the wind blowing through my ears. You know, it was pretty wild. So let me see if I can find something to be of interest here. There's the geysers. Okay, why is this giving me, I want my albums, I want the camera, there we go. Showing me things I don't need to see. I'm looking for one that might interest you guys. Oh, here's inside Yellowstone. This is the lodge, okay, so it's a little hard to see there. It's all wood. All those rafters there going up and down. And there's the chimney. You can't really see it there very well. It's all stone chimney. This was built in 1904, if I'm not mistaken. So I had lunch there, or dinner there years ago, and I think I paid like $12 for my dinner, and I had like sea bass. It was fantastic with wine. But they've got walleye, pulled pork, bison bratwurst, Hawaiian rolls, macaroni and cheese, ranch house beans, mashed potatoes, salads, beef chili, gluten-free soup du jour, assorted desserts, $27 for an adult, $11.25 for a child. Oof. Western style buffet. But I actually ordered a meal, didn't have buffet. So I got Old Faithful on here. Let me see if I can find that. Here we go. Hard to say because it's so light. There you go. Anyway, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. You're right there, Dogzilla. Moose are amazing. I didn't see any moose this trip. My previous trips to Yellowstone's, I've seen moose. I didn't see any bison because I didn't really go much around the lake. They're just north of the lake. That's where they tend to graze at and come across the road. But I didn't see them. I've been there before. So I just want to film some footage for my viewers and share that with you. That was an elk, yes. Yeah, Wyoming is amazing. Yeah, shh, don't tell anybody. Wonder if anyone has domesticated an elk. I doubt it. Catherine, 350 Rand. Boy, the clouds are gathering. Thank you for that, Catherine. They're harvesting corn on my way to work. Pretty sure I'll be able to ski in the mud from the trucks. Those Siberians ride around on reindeer. Well, elk aren't going to put up with that. You know, the reindeer will put up with it from the Sami people, but they're not going to put up with elk. Aren't going to put flying into Houston this evening. Flying via New Jersey, long commute, total travel time, transfer within our holding company. Coming over an L1A. Okay, I don't know what an L1A visa is. Will you make a video of your trip? Yeah, of course I will, Lorette. That's why when I come back at night, I download all this to a solid state drive and also my laptop. So I've got 3 different locations. Yeah. No, I'll make them. Of course, a lot of people say they're interested in them, and then probably about 1,000 people maybe will watch them. And just down the road in Logan, Utah, the Turning Point USA had an event remembering Charlie Kirk. AJ Quinn, hello to you. What did Catherine do? Why is she a show off? Oh, because she gave the 350 Rand super chat. But that's not Catherine Nell. That's just Catherine. Okay. Or is it Catherine Nell? It's chopped off there. Okay, sorry. Anyway, so that's kind of what's been going on here, folks. Now, I'll be back to a regular schedule next week. I've got one refugee who's arrived in the States has agreed to do an interview, and we'll be setting that up. Another one who might be doing an interview, so we might have two next week, as well as someone who escaped South Africa, nothing to do with the refugee program, a journalist who may be on the program next week as well. So we'll go from there. Let's see what happens. Battle of the siblings. I got you. Your chip videos could get more views than you think. No, they don't, Dogzilla. They don't. They don't. I know that because of the shadow bang and the way that YouTube treats my channel, they don't. I mean, incredible documentary, and I'll bet you in the audience here right now, only a handful of people actually probably a higher percentage here watch it because these are regular viewers. But my video on Hood Constantia, which is outstanding cinematography. Great job by the Pet Suit Film crew in putting that together. It's just amazing. That is a great video. Yep. It's a shame that those videos, and on my travel videos, I do videos of the Gettysburg battlefield. I do videos of North Carolina battlefields. I've done videos of battle sites in England. I've done natural wonders in England and Europe and in France, the Riviera, and people don't watch it. So I appreciate what you're saying, Dogzilla, but I know what history is. I know the history. And I also know that YouTube is punishing me right now because I accurately reported the fact that they admitted that they canceled people without violating community standards like me. And they gave Trump 22 million, plus a few other people got the other 2 million. I got nothing. So I want my money. Anyway. Adrian Frick says, Grüezi aus der Schweiz. How are you? Bison. I didn't know you could saddle bison. Reaction says, I can't wait to be able to get to the U.S. and be able to work. I was fired from 2 jobs, 2 years. Employed since 22. I've been turned down from jobs. I hear your reactions. Yep. What are you talking about, Chugsy? 12 more months ago. There's no such thing. You guys keep listening to the fake news media in South Africa. There is no AGOA. I'll go out the videos this weekend. What does that mean? I'll go out the videos. I don't understand what that means. Is that Afrikaans in English that's just confusing me there? I don't know what that means, man. Square me away. Yeah, 12 more months of no go. No go. That's funny. That's funny. Now, what is this? They've got some like 15-year-old made up teeny bopper on here. She's supposed to be some kind of journalist. This is annoying. Fox News. Ugh.
Easy to me that you have the liberal media. I don't know what they gained by shifting this shutdown.
It's Trace Gallagher.
I mean, we saw the poll earlier. 67% of Democrats.
He's got some young girl. She's only on there because she's supposedly cute. You'll check out. Gotcha. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, that makes more sense. You'll check out videos. Appreciate that. Uh-oh, Willem is trying to, okay, Willem, ease up there, man. I appreciate the $20, but don't get carried away. All right, clouds are gathering. Yeah, I started the rain this morning, and then when I got to the Grand Tetons, the peaks were covered in clouds. I got some really good photos. Let me see if I can find one of those, see if I can get to come up here. I have some amazing photos of Grand Tetons. Oh, here's my Jim Greens. Let's see how those came out. So here you can actually see the logo of the, I don't know how to come up a screen here, but you can actually see the logo inside the shoes. See inside the shoes there? The Jim Green logo. So that's pretty cool. And then here they are sitting on the rock. And that's Lake Yellowstone Lake. And that's another one of them City Rock. Here's a close-up of them so you see the heel because they have their Jim Green printed or stamped in the heel. So that's on the rock, Yellowstone. I thought that one's pretty cool. And that's a little further out. So you can see the lake, you can see the boots. Okay. And here they are turned the other direction. I'm hoping Jim Green likes this idea. And about where the boots at. I got them in a video here too. Okay, hang on a second. Something's not right there. Didn't I do a video? Huh. Oh, it must be that one. Okay. Check this out. This is Catherine says, that's better. Don't be cheap. You owe in dollars. Next time, make it 20 to begin with. Oh, my goodness. All right. If you guys want to be sibling rivalry, I can live with that. So here I am, not convinced of. Yeah, I'm looking down at the gorge there. Hey, Mandy, how's it going? Let me see. Oh, the quaking aspen were gorgeous too. Here's the quaking aspen. It's a perfect time to be here because the colors are changing. See how they're all turning yellow? Stunning. This is coming from the lake in Grand Teton. Yeah. Hey, Ann, how you doing? I'm trying to find a picture. Here I am wearing my gym greens, and that's at Lake Jenny. That was it was a stunning picture there. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, here we go. You're gonna love these pictures. Check this out. The tops of the mountains are covered, obscured by clouds. You see the reflection down in the lake. Look at that. Looks like it's not snow. It's just the clouds. Unbelievable. There we go. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Am I in the frame? Okay, you're not. But they're going to be. I want to put them up here. So and I can cut off. All right. My Rangers are up to the challenge of the Grand Tetons. What are you wearing? It didn't fit, so that was the idea, but it didn't work. So I did another take. Anyway, so here's some more of the quaking aspen, the beautiful yellow trees. All right, Dougie Ray, sorry to see you go. Thanks for being here. Good morning, Maggie Rose. How's it going? It's funny how the Dems are worried about woke funding. Meanwhile, here in South Africa, literally life or death. Yep. The vastness of the national park's amazing. Yeah, Dogzilla. I mean, you drive for hours through Yellowstone. Hours. It is massive. It's the entire northwestern corner of Wyoming, a little slice of Montana. It's crazy. Crazy. It is huge. I mean, huge. You can't even imagine unless you've been there. I've been through the park. I've been in the northern corner, through the middle loop, in from the east and down to the south. But I've never actually gone the route between Grand Teton and Yellowstone, at least that I can recall. And I did it today. I certainly never come from the south to north, which is what I did today. Yeah, no, Catherine, they're amazing. It's natural beauty of the West is just something else. I see a guy called Morne Boat to answer refugee questions. Yeah, he's not a refugee and he's not a government official. He has no experience in the government. He's a South African who lives in America, so I don't know how he's answering refugee questions. I think he's answering questions about what life in America is like, and he does it in Afrikaans. Is that who you're talking about? Glacier National Park is also quite amazing, yes. As is Acacia National Park. The Smoky Mountains National Park is also beautiful. Yeah. There's a lot of amazing natural beauty in America, and we've protected it. So we were the first country in the world to create a national park, first ever preserve our land. And Yellowstone was the first national park ever, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Stefan, that's the guy. Yep. Yep. So, yep. And Washington State's a fascinating place because Washington State is a rainforest. It's a temperate rainforest on the Olympic Peninsula. The amount of water that falls in there is just a stunning amount of water. Mr. Echo, good evening to you. Jacob's waiting for the cold weather. Well, cold weather is going to hit the U.S. soon. It's 60 today when I got here, 60 Fahrenheit, which is more normal. I was 80 something the other day, so now it's down to 60s. That's more like it. And it was actually chilly in Yellowstone and, well, really Grand Teton at higher altitude. Yes, most will be non-essential be on furlough. Yep. Suman 3, Rao, welcome to you. He was dished by someone because he stated refugees need unabridged certificates, which will be needed for PR application. I don't dish. What do you mean dished? Dissed? Was he dissed by somebody? Well, I don't know how he knows that. How is he an expert on? I'm not trying to bad talk the guy. I'm just I don't. I've watched a couple of his videos, but it's enough for cons. So yeah, I like to visit the U.S. Military Museum or museums. There's lots of military museums in America, tons of museums. Yep. One of the best ones you'll ever visit is at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. The Air Force Museum is unbelievable. It is like the best collection. It might even be the largest collection of aircraft on the planet. It's amazing. It's huge. It's incredible. It's on Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I've been there. Unfortunately, I had a crappy camera. Now I have a better camera, but I'm not going back to Ohio anytime. Why Yellowstone? Why is it called Yellowstone, Bob? It's called Yellowstone because the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, not the Grand Canyon, but the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, the stones are yellow. They appear to be yellow from a distance. And so the place was named after Yellowstone. So he's got good intentions by taking my advice from you. Well, okay, Werner, cool. It's fine. Is that what makes the stones yellow? I don't know about that huge tank museum, Dan, but I'm telling you, the Air Force Museum at freaking Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is unbelievable. It is amazing. You know, we were told we would need it for PR by our center. PR, permanent residency. Yeah, so okay, look, we'll go back to that whole story. That's where Shelley stuck her nose in there. I told people that what the law says is that you have to have your birth certificate to get a green card, permanent residency. That's what the law says. But they can make exceptions. I mean, people like Erica will never have a birth certificate because the Belgian Congo doesn't exist and no one's going to give her a birth certificate. So they do make exceptions and accept other documents, but the normal course of events is you have to provide a birth certificate. Given that South Africans come from a country that's not embroiled in war, I suspect they're going to expect that most of you have birth certificates. That's why the whole birth certificate thing came up. I was called a liar. And people said I was spreading misinformation when I wasn't. I was telling what the law said and what my analysis is. Okay. I also allow for the fact that you can use alternatives. And I gave the example of Erica. And I got attacked by these scumbag hate wankers who lied about me and said that I claimed this, that, and the other. I never claimed this, that, and the other. I stated the facts. They just didn't like the facts because it didn't jive with their little lies. Crushed limestone, is that what you're talking about? Maybe what makes the stones yellow is all this stone. I didn't hear his speech. I haven't heard his speech. I was on the road all day, guys. I was up at 6 o'clock, and then I got breakfast real quick. I showered. I packed the car. I recorded the video because of those emails and the concern that people wouldn't be able to fly right now. After I did that, I made sure it loaded. I hit the road. And from 8 o'clock onwards until I got here after 5 o'clock, I was on the road. I had no mobile coverage for most of the day because nothing got to me in Yellowstone. So I didn't even have mobile coverage for much of the day. So I have no idea. That speech was happening when I left because it was already 10 o'clock or 9:30 on the East Coast. And so they're already doing that. So I missed it. It's a bison. I don't know where Hillary Clinton came from. She crawled out from under some rock. So they're talking about this fat generals now on Fox News. 6 minutes, 26 seconds to the government shutdown.
4:30 without an alarm clock. I go for a jog. I ride a bike. I do the elliptical if I have time to do it. Guess what?
I agree. Most generals I knew were fit, but they've become fatter and fatter and fatter. That's not a blue bull's teddy. That's a bison. Of course, the Democrats are offended by the speech because they're fat, lazy asses. They're leeches. You're going to work. I received a very strange and weird email to attend a very strange meeting at the department. That's interesting. Okay. Rainier, have a good day. Hello, Xavier. The Grand Canyon is pretty interesting. Yeah, he's bringing back standards, Vander. That's right. Absolutely. When I was in the Army during the Vietnam War, every soldier, no matter what, okay, we need a fit fighting military, not overweight, hypertensive gaggle of men. Yep, exactly. These are post and X. Military isn't a grade school. It's about fairness. It isn't about fairness. It's about competence. Exactly. I think the criteria should adjust by age, but it should be equivalently hard. Experience is worth the combination. Well, of course it adjusts by age because people physically aren't capable of doing the same things. It wouldn't hurt a lot to make a requirement for all government employees. Yeah, no, you can't make all government employees fit. JC Bolton, my government shut down 92. Yeah, I hear you. Estelle, hello to you. From fit to fat to fatter. Yep. Yeah, no. General seem not so fond of USA cities to run practice drills for training military. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Sean. Are you referring to using the National Guard for stopping the crime waves? The active duty generals have nothing to do with that. I don't think they really care. Yeah, so let me see if I got anything else here that I popped up and got ready. Yeah, I do. Old Joseph Malamu's verdict has been postponed again. And yes, I don't know why. 2 days into judgment now to return tomorrow as Magistrate Toinette Olivier continues working through the long list of evidence before delivering her final decision. Well, I don't know what evidence she has to go through. He's guilty of sin. I don't need to have any evidence. We've already seen the evidence. The FF claims Malema firearm discharge trial is a case against return of land. No, I love how they try to turn this into something political. This moron fired a live bullet into the air at a rally, and there's consequences for stupidity. EFF Secretary General Marshall Delamy criticized East London magistrate, accusing her of wasting time on Malema's firearm discharge case. Delamy claimed without providing evidence that the firearm discharge case was retaliation against the party's land reform policy. The complainant in the case, after reform, expressed confidence in securing conviction, saying the evidence speaks for itself. Yeah, and he could face 15 years in jail, but they'll never give him jail. If he gets 12 months or more, he has to be removed from Parliament. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Vilma Rasmus, 34. Is my message showing your screen? It's the first one I've seen, Vilma. Have you been publishing other messages here? I don't see any from you, Vilma. Tonight, that's the first one I've seen from you tonight, Vilma. Anybody else seen Vilma's messages? I see Varoshka. I hadn't seen her earlier. That's the first time. Thank you for that. See the vid. I said that first you'll laugh, then you'll shock. Yeah, I probably will laugh. Trump publicly suggests on December 30th that the U.S. military should use dangerous American cities as training grounds. Well, if that's what he said, I think that Trump needs to take a chill pill. That's not the purpose of U.S. military. If there are domestic enemies against the Constitution, you can use the military. We take an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But that's a huge stretch to claim. So I don't know what Trump's up to. Like I said, I'll hold him to account when something's wrong. It sounds like it's something I have to hold him account to. Firefighters battling blazes among the scorching heat in Cape Town, folks, in the shadow of Table Mountain. Yep. Deer Park, the lower slopes of Table Mountain National Park, was on fire today. In Pinelands, 2 thatched roof dwellings caught fire, with water bombing operations underway on Welwyn Avenue earlier in the day. South African Weather Service issued advisories. Very high temperatures in the city, Witzenberg, and provincial municipalities along the coast. Maximum temperature in Cape Town was 33 degrees Celsius, according to the Weather Service. According to Fire and Rescue Services spokesperson Jermaine Carlsay, firefighters responded to the fires in Deer Park and Pinelands, as well as Grabal and Twee Waterskloof. Wow. Fire. Once again. And the Democratic Republic of Congo has sentenced former President Joseph Kabila to death in absentia for treason. Military court in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Tuesday sentenced ex-President Joseph Kabila to death in absentia for treason. The 54-year-old, who was not present at the trial in the capital nor represented, was found guilty of complicity with the M23 anti-government armed group, which has seized swaths of resource-rich Congolese east with Rwandan help. He left the vast Central African country in 23 and briefly appeared in Goma, causing disquiet in Kinshasa. Observers say the death sentence aims to remove the possibility he could unite the opposition within the country. Well, I mean, I don't know what right a military tribunal has to try the president. It seems pretty odd to me. Seems like a stretch to say the least. So South Africa has met the standards to be taken off the gray listing. That shocks me. I find that implausible. People calling Trump fat, but they want to see fat. They should look at South African government employees. They got boots so wide their cracks would resemble Spanish Grand Canyon. Hey, Varushka, you have a good day. Yesterday, the judge said the verdict will be done in 2.5 hours. She had to read 7 years of testimony. Sitting through that was almost deadly. President Trump is against immigrants. No, he's not. And now Antifa. That's not true, Xavier Grayling. Trump is not against immigrants. Trump is against illegal aliens. Oh, okay, the shutdown. We're shut down officially.
Refusing to back a Republican plan to fund the government before the midnight deadline. Leaders on the right say it is all political theater.
This is a temper tantrum of Chuck Schumer and the Democrats saying, we hate Donald Trump.
We'll talk about that with the panel in moments, but first to Chad Berger, the senior congressional correspondent. He's live for us in Capitol Hill with the very latest.
Government is shut down.
Attorney say there, well, consider what a government shutdown does. Government programs have just ceased a couple of moments ago because they don't have any direction or funding from Congress. And that's why President Trump today indicated that he might take great latitude in terms of programs and agency.
So I timed my trip to Yellowstone and Grand Teton because the people that run the park work for the Park Service and they're government employees and they're non-essential. So I suspect that the parks might be closed tomorrow. Predict when the shutdown will be over. Within 2 weeks. But they won't agree on a budget. They'll just do a continuing resolution. Apologies. Legal governments. Thank you very much, Xavier. Okay. Previous government shutdown lasted 35 days. I wonder how long this one will last. Probably not that long. Markets will be nice to watch. So, yeah, they will be interesting. They will be interesting. Yep. No doubt about that. They will be interesting to watch tomorrow. So 160 people here tonight, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. It's pretty cool. So, like I said, this is about the end of this trip. So over the past few months, I've gone to Birmingham, Alabama to be interviewed by CNN and to facilitate their interview of Earl Langton. And I made use of that time doing some other things when I was down there. And then I went to England for the Women's Rugby World Cup for a month. I came back from there, spent a couple days home before I headed over to Idaho. And so today I was in 4 states. 4 states. I started in Wyoming. I mean, sorry. No, in the past 2 days, I've been in 4 states. I started in Utah, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. All just like that. Yeah, it's a temper tantrum. That's what he just said. That's what Ted Cruz said. I called it temper tantrum myself before. Um, Probably, Shawnee. Probably. And that's fine. But I wish, I wish this was we knew because then I could have planned a trip to South Africa. But yeah, so it's going to cause some problems. So yeah, so my consulting gig will be frozen, but that's not till later in October. It's just for 1 week. They can easily shift that further to the right. It's the stuff in November that's a problem because in November they bring generals from all over the world to come here, U.S. and foreign, to attend this course and rescheduling that is not easy because you got facilities, you've got these generals who are available at that time. They're not always available. So you wind up getting different people and people miss out on the opportunity. So the first week is just preparation. We put everything together. So that can be moved. It used to be all consecutive, 3 weeks straight, which was a bit of a long slog. So they broke it into 2. But the problem with breaking it into 2 is it eats up 2 of my months, which means 4 months of the year I can't go anyplace because I've got to do this consulting. So yeah. Well, I've been going to Tennessee at any time. I don't have any plans to go to Tennessee, although there's good reason for me. Ouch, sorry, my back's killing me there. There's good reason for me to go, but I don't have any plans to go there anytime soon. So, yeah, my stepbrother lives in Nashville. Maybe if the Colts were playing the Titans and I could get tickets and I could go down and see him, maybe see some refugees. But yeah, hey, Natasha, how's it going? Oh, man, hang on. Sorry, after sitting all day in the car, well, not all day, I was walking around quite a bit too. It's killing my hip. Ooh, I was walking a lot. So when I was at Lake Jenny in Grand Teton, the gentleman who took my photograph for the Jim Green things, one's a cardiologist. That's what I'm trying to say. Cardiologist. He's a surgeon. But he has previous experience with orthopedics, and he was talking to me, and the other guy had his hip replaced, and we were talking about it. The guy who had his hip replaced said for years he fought it, and he tried the physical therapy, but eventually just had to do it. He never did the injection. The cardiologist agreed with me. He said, when you see an orthopedic surgeon, I said, yeah, they've got a hammer, and all they see are nails. Yeah. Then he said, yep. He said, but don't be afraid of doing the replacement. He said, I had both my shoulders replaced. I'm like, what? Anyway. And the G20 November, we know President Trump won't be there. Yeah, Vance is coming as far as I know. They have those inflatable donuts. That doesn't help my hip. My hip, the donut's not going to help. The problem is the socket. So the hip bone fits into a socket, and it's round, and it rotates around like this, and there's a labrum in there, and when it tears, then you wind up having the bone, instead of swimming around inside there where it doesn't touch the sides, then it starts grinding against one side like this. So when you flare your leg out or move it the wrong way, it rubs, and it hurts. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so the hip was hurting a bit from walking today, and it hurt a bit during the driving, but I'm okay. Look, it's a problem, so it's just a problem. And now the other side's starting to hurt because all the shifting. But yeah, so here's my Grand Teton map. So from today, National Park Service makes some really cool maps, and they're all the same sort of standard with this black at the top and the name of the park, and the Park Service over here. Yep. So photographs and the natural wonders of the park. On the back is the actual map of the Grand Teton National Park. So the mountains are over here on this side. These are the Grand Tetons, which comes from French. It really means the big titty mountains, the Tetons. Les grands Tetons, the big titties, because that's what they look like from a distance with those nipples on them. Yep. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So, and then Yellowstone. So, everywhere you go in Yellowstone, like stay away from the animals. The animals are dangerous. That's a good point. I didn't see any bear though. I think Dogzilla was talking about bears earlier. There's Yellowstone. So you can see that Yellowstone actually goes outside of Wyoming, because Wyoming goes straight across. So this is Montana up here, and this little edge over here, just inside the line, is also Montana. The rest is all Wyoming. Huge, 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 huge. Anyway, on the back, of course, you got all the geysers and the volcano, the paint pots and all that stuff, the wildlife. They introduced wolves here too. I didn't see any wolves. The only wildlife I saw were the elk. I didn't see anything else. I didn't see bison today. Where did the map go? Okay, just had another map. Oh, there it is. It fell down there. Okay. Anyway. Well, the hip is because of an injury. I just want to say it's nice to be here every morning, bring a calm over life. Well, I'm glad I could do that. Hey, Luis, what's going on? Okay. Hannes Olafia. Maps in a park. What a novel idea, except well, when I went to it's on Luana, there's nothing. There used to be this panel there. It depicted the battle and talked about it, but it hadn't been touched since the 1990s when the National Party ran the country. It's completely washed out. When I was there a couple years ago in 2020, you couldn't even see it. It's completely stupid. It's blank. Yellowstone, the television series, has nothing to do with Yellowstone National Park. It's just the name of the show. They appropriate the name. Mostly all I've seen are crows and a few birds of prey. Yep. I've seen too many birds. Yep. Special ed schools, including kindergarten. Huh? Krista, you're late. I've already covered that story, talked about that. But the U.S. government now is officially shut down for 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Eight minutes. Well, I can't confirm that I haven't been paid, I think. Let me see. Let me take a look real quick. Let's see if I got paid. It wasn't there earlier today, so. And I doubt it's there now. I look at my account. Nope, I didn't get paid. Didn't get paid, and I won't get paid today. Nope. Good thing I paid my mortgage already. Yep. Yep. The last government shutdown, I was still on active duty, so I got paid. Yeah, I'm a retiree now. I don't get paid. So Church World Services decided to put out a statement dated the 24th of September about what's going on with the refugee program, and it's very misleading. Very misleading. So I'm disappointed in Church World Services, but that shouldn't surprise me. Yes, it doesn't go off at 12 noon. It goes off approximately every hour throughout the day. It takes that long for the reservoir to fill up with water and then reach a boiling point and spew out. You missed it earlier there, Xavier. I showed the video of Old Faithful. I will be paid according to Senator Kennedy. Well, I have been paid, Mays. There's no money in my account. No money in my account. It's after midnight Eastern Standard Time. Usually I'm paid on the last day of the month or by this time on the first day of the month. There's no money in my account. Bupkis. Nothing there. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So I don't know what Senator Kennedy's talking about, but I haven't been paid. And Werner says, good planning, Colonel. Well, that's usually how it works, Werner. So this trip was pretty complicated. This was a very complicated maneuver that involved flying to Boise, and then hiring a car, and then traveling to Haley, Idaho overnight, lodging there, then the Craters of the Moon, then from there down to Twin Falls, and then lodging on my own for one night, meeting up with Billy Painter, with Willem and Kara, and then catching the sights as best I could before we had things done on Saturday, doing the interview. But I also did the Springboks game. So they went and interviewed Willem and Carr while I did the Springboks game. Then they interviewed me. And then after that, it was on to Salt Lake where I met Courtney. Courtney gave me a wonderful tour of the city. That was lovely. By the way, the Hilton was fantastic there. And I ran into World Rugby folks who are scouting for the next World Cup in the USA, the one 2031 after Australia. And they're already here 6 years ahead of the World Cup, setting up hotels, accommodations, and contracting services. So from there, it was off to Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho, then on to Star Valley to see a realtor, then check out Star Valley Ranch again, then Grand Teton, then Yellowstone. So all this stuff was, well, the buffering is new. No one else said anything about buffering. No one said anything about buffering. So are we live even still? Let me see. No, it's still live. What are you eating in all this travel? Well, I've had plenty of junk food. I've had McDonald's a few times out of desperation just because it would fill the stomach. I've had lots of Mexican food. And then I was in Salt Lake City, and there was a bistro just down the street which had decent prices. I got a sandwich for $15. It was a turkey au jus. It was turkey with some kind of peppers on it, on a bun, and just like, where you dip it into the juice. It was unbelievable with fries. It was an incredible meal. For $20, it was pretty good. Smooth from here, yep. Yeah, also, I've got myself some of those fruit snacks. I bought them on sale at Costco. That's the other thing, too. Oh, God bless it. Now something's digging in my back here. Oh, it's my shorts digging in my back. The tag for my shorts are digging in my bum. Anyway, yeah, so I stopped at Costco in Twin Falls and topped off my vehicle. I stopped at Costco in Salt Lake and topped off my vehicle. And yeah, so I also at Twin Falls bought some Starbucks. So I've been leaving it in the car at night, it gets ice cold, or putting it in a cooler. Every hotel I've been in has had a refrigerator, so that's been pretty good. Yep. Yep. And then I've had plenty of Cokes, courtesy of Willem. So I need to ease up on those. Stop stressing out reactions. Unless you're a moron, you can find a job in this country. Plenty of jobs. That's why I listen to all these people in DC moaning, I can't find a job. Yeah, because you're unwilling to relocate. You're unwilling to sacrifice. Maybe you need to go here and leave your family behind while you go get the job, raise some money, and then relocate your family later on. But no, people get fat and lazy in DC and used to living off the taxpayers' teat in the gravy train, and they expect everything to be handed to them. They're not willing to relocate. But those in the military have to move all the damn time. and relocate. I moved 26 times in 36 years. 26 times. It's insane. Your life being disrupted like that over and over again. I don't think they'll lose at Twickenham. No. Huge crowd. It's like a home game. Sandra, I've already covered that 3 times in this story. In an hour and 15 minutes, I've talked about this 3 times, including at the outset. I take it you didn't start watching this from the beginning. I also produced a short on it this morning, which only has about 14,000 views. And now I know why. Y'all aren't watching my videos. Now I know why I'm not getting the views. That one has 14,100 views on it. I did it to warn people about this and give them a heads up. And yep, I got 4,000 or 3,600 in the first hour, and it's gone down ever since then. Now it's down to just 30 or 40 per hour. Yep. So, yep. Anyway, no, we have no funding. The U.S. government's shut down, and so until they start again, people can't fly. Just can't pay for it. Can't process them. Bear Lake is huge, Angelique. It is huge. I wish I could bring it up on the screen, but I can't because I'm not in my studio. It's a very big lake. You can see from one side to the other. It's not that, but from north to south, you can't see from one end to the other. And the northern end is all like marshes and swamps. It's not really a lake as such. What's the video? What do you mean, what's the video? It's on the shorts. It's called No Federal Budget, No Refugee Resettlement. God bless it. All right, it's pinned. No, the sky hasn't fallen yet. Bev in Amsterdam. What's going on, man? How you doing? Let me take a look at the analytics. Today's the last day of the month. And let me see how we did this month on revenue. 22% or 27% lower than last month. Yep. Again, I know it's ephemeral. That big amount of money made was all the advertisements. Huge there for 2 months. I mean, it's just, right back down to where it used to be. So, yep. Advertising is now the third largest source of revenue because no one's watching the videos. No one's watching the videos. So I'm not making any money on that. Yep. Advertising was bringing in 4 times the revenue of memberships. Now it's making less than memberships or super gifts. Yep. Or super chats. Super chats and memberships are now bringing more, but super chats aren't bringing that much money. It's mostly come from memberships. So, yep. Yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. This is what a wonderful movie. Oh, that was those guys. Can I ask you a question on a video? Someone asked me if they think it's wise to apply for a visa for 10 years, sign up the program. Why would you need a visa for 10 years if you're going to be a refugee? I don't understand that. All right. See that's to me, that's a person that does his life is in a jeopardy, who is not looking to escape, certain death, or persecution, but a person rather that wants immigration. That's what they want. So if you're asking me whether you should sign up for a visa for 10 years, in other words, there's no such thing. You're talking about well, I'm sorry, there is a 10-year visa. You want a 10-year visa or you want to come here as a refugee? Yeah. It sounds to me like you want immigration. Too many of you people are using this as immigration. You're trying to get around immigration laws and slip in the country as refugees. So let the people's lives really in jeopardy come over. $20,000 per person is money. It's now been decades. What's this conversation? What did Dogzilla say? It's not been 35 years. It's been 31 years. Folks can simply buy their own flights. Is that a question? Because you got a question. Oh, can folks? Yeah, Dogzilla, they can pay, but you're missing the point. It's not simply a question of paying for the flights, because I'm having a good authority from multiple sources now. Multiple refugees have told me that the government is no longer paying for it. They're getting loans from the International Organization of Migration, which is not a U.S. source of funding. It's a UN source of funding. But you're missing the point, guys. U.S. officials have to escort people. They have to process people. If U.S. officials are put on furlough, then they can't escort people. They can't process people. They can't receive people. So, hence, no one goes anywhere. Although I understand from a source, well, a couple sources actually, that the PRM folks might not be, they might still be working. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I hear you, Chris. The Yellowstone caldera is pretty frightening. Well, Dogzilla, yeah, you don't realize. I mean, it's unbelievable the deprivation, the poverty that's been caused by this. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So shall we have a little fun for a moment and see how many people disappear? We're at 160 people. Is that correct? Let me see. 178. Let's see how many people disappear when we have a little fun. Time for a little bit of fun. I think it's time for a little bit of fun. You ready?
The water's rising slow and hot. The frog's still dreaming in the pot. Steam whispers secrets to the air. Do you jump or do you dare? Tick tock, the heat won't stop. The lid shakes like it's gonna pop. The pot boils over again. Pressure rising, no way to pretend you can stay or leap. Take your shot. The pot boils over, like it or not. Cyril's cards fell just as planned. He dealt the aces, played his hand, but the crowd's awake, their voice is loud. A restless wave, a roaring crowd. Tick tock, the time runs thin. Boiling point, it's sink or swim. The pot boils over again. Pressure rising, no way to pretend you can stay or leap. Take your shot. The pot boils over, like it or not. Pot boils over. Pot boils over, like it or not. Pot boils over again. Pressure rising, no way to pretend you can stay or leap. Take your shot. The pot boils over, like it or not. Pot boils over. 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 Pot boils over, like it or not.
Boils over. Of course, that's Cyril Ramaphosa and the frog, the white South Africans, sitting in the pot, still dreaming, pretending it's 1994 and all is kosher and going well. And look at that, folks. What did I say? We lost 30 people just like that. Yeah, 17,000 is a full salary for some people. We're living in fear in our lives every day and hope for relief through the refugee program. Yes, and Dogzilla keeps regaling you of stories of refugees who come over and go to Paris and Rome for holiday. Yeah. They're obviously not refugees, economic migrants. Yes, I can make people disappear by playing music. Well, here's one we haven't played in a long time. Actually, people came back, so we're at a higher level now than we were. Well, that's strange. You got to go figure what's going on here. What's the deal here? Anyway, let's go back. So we got one more here. Where are we at here? That's where one. Haven't played this one in a long time, folks. I love. Well, no, I don't play that one. Nah. Here, let's play this. Haven't played this in a while, have we?
Bugger off, bunny ups in the fight. Wyatt Army marches through the night. For right and justice we stand tall. Faith in our hearts, freedom for all. Chris at my side, he's got my back. We move as one, we're on the track. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Through the shadows, through the rain, Wyatt Army feels no pain. Truth and love, our guiding light. Bugger off bunny, shining bright. With Chris beside, we never fall. Together we answer the freedom call. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe.
Return of the bugger off bunny. Yes, I heard a request for Alabama Heat. That is not the right one. That is not the right Alabama Heat. Where's it at here, man? Is it the next one? Hang on. There it is. Sorry, here we go. There it is.
Alabama heat melts the road to gold.
New faces arrive with stories untold.
The air is thick, but the dreams are wide.
South African hearts crossing the tide.
Safe in liberty's embrace, where the stars
The Alabama Heat, folks. Or some people like that one. Yeah, the grass is greener is pretty good too. Layoff papers last Friday. Mom died. Oh my goodness, that's terrible, Krista. She ate many crickets. Wearing pantyhose. I don't know about that. Next is, would the U.S. state government shut down? Yeah, dude, please watch the video. Please watch the video. I realize you're not getting notifications, but the least you can do is look, guys. Come on. I did a video on it this morning. I took time out of my travel to forward the video. Come on. Vanna says people can actually engage on this channel and differ and discuss topics like grown-ups and get great analysis from an expert. Thank you, Vanna. Make a channel for premiere and exclusive content. Well, yeah, that's an idea. Reactions Unleashed, but who's going to pay for it? You know, who's going to pay for it? No, that bison is that's Bert the bison. He's mine. He's mine. He's not the decor. Bert is my bison. Bert the bison. Yep, there he is. Yep. Yep. He is not part of the decor. He's mine. Yeah. Time for you. Okay, Verna, take care. My flight's still valid on Delta. Do you think it's going to get canceled? It's in 7 days. Salvatore, I don't know the answer to the question. My expectation is that if they sort this out in the next few days, you should be okay. You should be. The government can pay that last minute. I don't think they're going to cancel anyone unless they have to. They had to cancel Tuesday. They couldn't operate because they had to have people operating. They had to be people from the American government to receive them when they arrived, and they would have arrived on Wednesday if they left on Tuesday. So yeah. Anyway, it's yeah. So Salvatore, you should be all right, but I can't guarantee anything. It's up to the Democrats. It's up to the Democrats. Yep. Bert and Bob. There you go. What is this Biden's health secretary show? What are we talking about? Thoughts on Adrian Steinman? Oh, you mean the security guard? Well, he used to be Juju's security guard. I didn't know he lived in Orania. What is going with Rudolph? Okay. 7 years unemployed. Oh, gotcha. You watch the video in the mall, people look at you funny. Well, screw them, Sandra. Samari says, put on notifications, go to the channel during the day, make an effort. Thank you for that. Things are not looking good, South Africa. 80,000 jobs lost. Yep, I know, Charles. I predicted this, did I not? Everyone said that, oh, the American aid is just, it's just 17% of the HIV program. It doesn't matter. Well, look at all the jobs that have been lost since then and the ripple effect just from the $500 million of aid that stopped coming. Then on top of that, now with the 30% tariffs, jobs are just shedding left and right. But America doesn't matter. But it's under control. We've got our team there. We're just waiting on the Americans to respond to our offer. What a bunch of horse manure. Now the conspiracies are all in place after his ambassador. Let's just say, yeah, well, the U.S. and Israel had nothing to do with that. Why would we care about that clown? I think the bigger issue is maybe somebody in SAPS did it if such a thing happened. But I think he probably took that leap on his own. Yeah. Lambertus. Some called him Lumpies. Oh, I've seen Lumpies before then. Last week, Congress goes to Israel. This week, the government shuts down. That's not odd. The Democrats didn't go to Israel. The Democrats are the ones holding things up. The Republicans have passed a bill in the House. They're trying to pass the Senate. Yeah, I will do rugby this weekend. I have the Springboks versus the Pumas. I'll be covering that. And then URC action as well. So Leslie says, if he's been unemployed for 7 years, would he be able to get in the USA with refugee program if he continues? It's not relevant, Leslie. The fact that he's unemployed is not germane unless he's unemployed because of racism. If he's been unemployed because of racism, racial persecution, that matters. But being unemployed, this is not an economic refugee. It's not immigration. We're not looking for workers. We're helping people whose lives are in jeopardy. So it's not germane that he hasn't worked in 7 years. He can explain why, if then maybe it helps his case. But that doesn't matter. If you're poor, then you can't come because you're poor. If you're broke, you can't come because you're broke. His minions will try to cause havoc, and they'll be shut down very quickly. They're cowards. Look all you have to do is watch Brockenfell, or watch this other school. The one was in Haotang, where 6 Burikis showed up from the bitter enders, and all the EFF guys kind of ran away. There were hundreds of EFF clowns toy-toying outside the school. 6 Burikis, Devin Hofmeyer, I think, was one of them, was there, and they all ran away like little biatches. They're cowards. They're not a threat. The biggest threat is to themselves. Just take one water cannon and they run away. I referred 2 clients to my labor law specialist, both employed while a beverage maker being retrenched, citing new employment equity quotas. Well, there you go. Well, then if it's because of discrimination, then it's germane. But being unemployed isn't germane, unless it's for that reason. Oh, you love Bert. Thanks. Okay, Mr. QB. Yeah, well, you can't extend something that's expired. It's utter nonsense. So I'm going to go downstairs where the sound is better and record a video. You're welcome, Andre. It's my pleasure. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. They may try to cause chaos, but they'll be shut down pretty quickly. EFF spokesperson walked over the ANC, only 200 supporters outside the court. Exactly. The EFF is a dying party, and MK is be right behind them. As soon as Zuma passes away, MK will melt away. Courtney, thank you. Rexburg is home to BYU Idaho. That is correct. It is correct. They also have a huge church here, too. Dodgy Road, we have covered it. It was one of the early stories in the outset. It's very suspicious. I don't know if he took that leap off the building of his own from the 22nd floor, or if if Jason Bourne was there to give him a little assist. I'm headed to Sun Valley. I said that early in the broadcast. Sun Valley. Yep. Salvatore Leon says, everything you've done for our people's out of this world. One day I'd like to shake your hand. Well, it'll be my pleasure, Salvatore. But I've been doing it for 5 years, and it's not just for your people. It's for South Africans in general. Yeah, with an emphasis on Afrikaners, Swana, and Basotho. Will Sam the Bach join you for this weekend Springbok? Yeah, Sam will be there. Red Bull gives you wings. Yeah, I could use a Red Bull right about now. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here because I'm going to go down and record a video about the AGOA extension that doesn't exist, and then I'll post that, okay? Hopefully people will watch it. Please, folks, you've got to go to the channel, look at the videos tab, and see the latest videos, okay? Because YouTube is not telling people. I know that. 14,000 for a refugee video. That was breaking news. No other analyst in the world, to my knowledge, has told you their view on why these people could travel or what's going to happen. So looking forward to your video and views of the expired. ANC never prepared for this day. No, they didn't. You're welcome, Katie. Hey, Katie, how's it going? Was mentioned in. Yes, I know, Conrad. That's what I said at the outset. That's why it's very suspicious. Okay. You're lucky with regards to being I'm self-employed and have an extremely specialist. Well, that's the thing with me, think of now. I mean, I have a very rare skill set that only a handful of people on the planet have. So, yep, makes you very employable. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Oh, GFP just gave 70 Rand. Thank you. Thank you for the super chats and for making it rain. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up here. God bless, and we'll see you later on. I'll be preparing that video, and then I'll upload it here shortly. All righty. Have a good day and be safe out there. Go watch some other videos if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it a lot. Thanks. The ad revenue is dropping through the floor. All right. Cheers, everybody.